All right, let's dive right in. Today we're going to tackle a really deep biblical puzzle, one that you can find packed into a single verse of Scripture. And it's a mystery that pretty much all hinges on the meaning of just one word.
Because that's really the question, isn't it? So one you just can't help but ask when you read this super famous, or maybe infamous, line from the book of Genesis. It seems to suggest that the creator of everything had second thoughts.
Okay, so let's put the evidence right up on the screen. Genesis chapter 6, verse 6. The Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth. See that? That one word, regretted. That is the key to this whole investigation.
And here's why it's so, well, troubling. The word regret, at least for us, implies a mistake, right? It suggests a lack of foresight, which just seems to completely contradict the nature of a perfect, all-knowing God. So what's going on here? Is this just a bad translation, or is there something much, much deeper happening in the text?
Well, the solution to this mystery isn't really found in some complex, abstract theological debate. Nope, it's actually found in cracking the code of a single ancient Hebrew word, the original term that got translated into English as regretting.
And that word is nacham. Now, what's so fascinating about nacham is that it's an incredibly rich and kind of elastic word. It's not trying to describe an intellectual error like, oops, I messed that one up. It's describing a deep, powerful, gut-level emotional movement.
I mean, just look at the range of meanings this one word can have. Naham can mean feeling deep sorrow. It can mean being moved with compassion. It can mean relenting from a judgment, or even comforting someone. You can see right away how just trying to pin it down with our single English word regret just doesn't work. It misses the whole picture.
So let's just boil this down, because this is the crucial distinction. On the left, here's what Naham is not. It's not admitting you made a mistake in your plan. And on the right, what it is, a deep, visceral, gut-level response to a broken relationship. We're talking about grief language here, not error language.
And you know what? The verse itself gives us this massive clue. It's almost like it's leaving breadcrumbs for us. It pairs nacham with another super powerful emotional verb, asab, which means pain, anguish, or just straight up emotional hurt. The text is basically screaming at us, hey, this is about a deep wound, a profound sorrow, not a cosmic miscalculation.
Okay, so that's a huge piece of the puzzle. But to really build our case, we need more evidence. So let's do a little detective work and see how this exact same word, nacham, is used in other parts of the Bible. Let's jump forward to the book of 1 Samuel chapter 15. And here we have God saying, I naham that I have made Saul king. Sounds really familiar, right? Just like in Genesis, God is expressing this deep relational sorrow over Saul's failure as king. But hold on, because just a few verses later, we get this. The glory of Israel does not lie or nacham, for he is not a man that he should nacham. Whoa, wait a second. Does God experience nacham or not? It looks like a flat-out contradiction, but it's not. And this is the amazing part. This isn't a contradiction, it's actually a definition. The passage is basically telling us that God does experience the relational sorrow of nacham, but he does not experience it in the flawed, mistake-driven way that humans do. It's drawing a line in the sand for us. And this shows us the other incredible side of this word. We see this pattern where naham is directly connected to mercy. In Exodus, God nahams and decides not to bring destruction. In the book of Jonah, when the wicked city of Nineveh repents, God nahams and shows them compassion. This word is about a God who is deeply, morally responsive, not some kind of fixed, unfeeling machine.
All right, we've examined the word itself, we've looked at its context, and we've seen how it's used elsewhere in the story. We've got all the evidence, so I think it's time for the verdict.
So let's just lay it all out, side by side, crystal clear. What naham does mean is that God experiences real, profound grief, that our sin genuinely wounds the heart of God, and that judgment, when it comes, actually flows from that sorrow. Now, what it does not mean is that God was caught off guard, that he made some kind of error in creation, or that he had to go back to the drawing board and revise his master plan. So, now that we've kind of cracked the code, what's a better way to read that original verse? Well, if we wanted to translate it to capture its true weight and feeling, it would sound a lot more like this. The Lord was deeply grieved over humanity and experienced profound sorrow over what his creation had become. See? That preserves all the emotional power, but without suggesting that God somehow made a mistake.
So, okay, you might be thinking, we've spent all this time digging into one single Hebrew word. Why does this matter so much? Well, because getting this word right doesn't just solve a translation puzzle, it fundamentally reveals something core to the very character of God.
Think about what this one word shows us. It tells us that God's holiness isn't some detached, distant thing. His all-knowing nature isn't cold and robotic. His judgment is never, ever separated from a place of grief. And maybe most powerfully, his immense love for his creation doesn't make him immune to the pain of its rebellion.
And that leaves us with this final, powerful thought that just completely reframes the entire story. The Great Flood doesn't begin with a thunderclap of divine anger. It begins with a broken heart.